Sabino Canyon, arguably one of the most scenic spectacles in all of Arizona. This gem is rightly protected as part of Coronado National Forest and is tucked deep within the sprawling Santa Catalina mountain range. It is no wonder that this natural beauty attracts over 1 million visitors every year. Explorers and adventurers from around the globe are welcome to come and hike, bike, and horseback ride along Sabino Canyon's many trails. Visitors can also take an educational tram ride for 3.8 miles up a winding road into the canyon. The canyon's beauty is only enhanced by the plant and wildlife brought here by Sabino Creek. A natural water source in the middle of a harsh desert is like a sanctuary for wildlife. The canyon follows the creek for 10 miles up Mount Lemmon, and within these 10 miles, the scenery drastically changes from a dry and dusty desert to a lush pine forest. The canyon has not always been crawling with visitors, however. It once belonged only to the people of the Southwest, and traces of the many Native American tribes that have passed through Sabino over thousands of years can still be spotted today. Some of the earliest dated artifacts found in Sabino are thought to derive from the Clovis culture. The Clovis people were hunter-gatherers and are thought to have been present in Sabino as early as 12,000 to 15,000 years ago. The Clovis people hunted big game such as bison, Columbian mammoth, and other large mammals that lived in southern Arizona when the climate was much cooler than today and far more humid. The hallmark of the Clovis culture, the Clovis Point, has been found in Lower Sabino Canyon and is what told archaeologists of the culture's presence in the area. These points were made of stone and bone. They were bifacial and had characteristic flutes, small grooves on each side of the point. Over 4,000 years later, around 8,000 BC, after the Clovis people disappeared, the next people attracted to the shelter, water, and abundant wildlife of Sabino Canyon were the Cochise. The Earth's climate was changing, and the desert was becoming dry. The water was disappearing, and with it, the big game that the Clovis people had depended on. The Cochise were small game hunters, hunting animals such as rabbit and deer, and supplemented their diets by gathering edible plants. Archaeologists believe that they have correctly identified flat grindstones called metates, stone points, and other tools left behind in Lower Sabino Canyon by these people. The Cochise continued to dominate the area for thousands of years.
And in almost a magical way, this is the perfect time in the desert. It is still cool.
people to dominate the area were the Hohokam. The peak of their culture occurred around 1100 AD. They were different than the other cultures that preceded them in that they were not hunter-gatherers. The Hohokam were farmers. They built intricate irrigation systems and canals and used them to maintain bountiful crops. They built villages all along Tucson's rivers and foothills. Archaeologists have discovered the evidence of small dams which caught rainfall and soil built west of Sabino Canyon. Within the canyon itself, Hohokam pottery shards have been found, and there are indentations ground into the rock of the canyon floor where the Hohokam would grind up beans. As the years went by, however, the population of the Tucson Basin began to wane, and the Hohokam culture eventually collapsed around 1450 AD. The Hohokam were a mysterious people, and their origins are unknown. It is not known whether they were the descendants of the Cochise, or perhaps if they migrated into southern Arizona from Central America. But just as mysteriously as they arrived, they vanished. Though some say they are still here, that they stood still and raised their arms to the sky and became the saguaro. Finally, replacing the Hohokam, the Pima and Tohono O'odham Indians became the predominant culture in the area. They, like the Hohokam before them, were farmers and built great villages along Tucson's rivers. They were the people who met the first Europeans who ventured into the Southwest. When Padre Eusebio Kino Francisco Kino arrived in the area in 1539, he named the village San Cosme de Tucson and named the mountains that form Sabino Canyon the Santa Catalinas. The Pima and Tohono O'odham still live in the Tucson area today. Sabino Canyon has a rich history and has always been abundant with life. The creek that creates this desert oasis brought people over tens of thousands of years to take refuge and create a home for themselves. The water helped to cultivate life and culture, and to this very day, Sabino Canyon draws people in with its beauty and majesty.